Um, should we just jump on in, Chris? I
I say
think,
we just go. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like there's no need for intros because I think I can see quite a lot of you are regular joiners. So I think you know both Chris and I by now. But please, as we go along, again, we've got another full session of updates to go through. Please do put questions in the chat, comments, etc. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, we are full on drinking through the fire hose, aren't we?
We are. It continues.
It's all good. It's all good. So I just need to check that my screen is visible.
Yeah,
Your
got it.
October HubSpot update. Like last week, we're gonna do half me, half Amy. We're gonna swap backwards. We're gonna swap halfway. We're gonna go through some updates. We're gonna demo some. Um, any questions? Stick them in the chat pane. Comments. How excited you are about a particular update. Love to hear any use cases that you can think of for some of these. But first one we're not going to show because it's kind of hard to show, but we can now reopen tickets in the help desk. And if any of you work in service, you know that sometimes we think we've resolved an issue, but actually we haven't. So we can reopen tickets now. The next one, I'm going to I suggest that Amy's going to have to give me the if I go on too long about some of these because they're quite exciting. But flexible CRM views. And this is some of you may not have this yet, but they've changed the way that we look at this. And in particular, we've got this new view. I mean, we can do all the things that we could do before. For anybody that uses deals regularly, we can actually add, these stats here. So it could be that we want to add key bits of information. As with all CRM views, you have to clone your view and then add your filters. You can't modify the defaults. But just for today, I think there's some exciting things that we can do here. So
While
we've
Chris is
got,
just doing this next thing, I just wanted to flag that this is a public beta. So if you're wondering why you can't see this, you'll need to opt into the beta, but it is a public one. It's for you.
yeah, no, turn it on. It's great. But I mean, for things we probably talked about this a little bit before, but for things like seeing your life cycle stages in a board view, it's nice. But it's not just life cycle stages. So any property you've got that let's see people that are okay. So I've always choose a property that there's no data in, but you can use any property. So if we want to look at people's favorite ice cream flavors, we can sort them there. We've also got report view where you've got the again in exactly the same way we can kind of choose our filters so we can work out what we'd like to see a report of, but we don't have to go into other bits of HubSpot for all of this. And we've also then got a calendar view so we can choose any particular filter that's a date property so we can see who was created on different dates. Really nice. It's almost, I'd say everyone I've shown this to has taken a little bit of time to get used to it, but have a look, turn on the beta, see if it's good for you and your team. You can turn the beta on for just yourself, I think. But it's a nice piece of functionality, and it will get better and better. And there's also soon the projects object coming, and so you'll have a Gantt view as well if you like that sort of thing. Next, meet Dave. Dave is our AI closing agent. Closing agent lives, perhaps counterintuitively, it lives in our commerce hub, and it's all part of the new CPQ functionality. And I think we're doing a webinar on it.
We are.
And Stop Press, we've got someone from the product team on that webinar, so it's going to be really good. So sign up for that. Get ready to ask your questions. Closing agent, you have a deal, and if you've worked in sales, Amy will certainly concur with this. There's often that one where you send it over to get them to sign it, and they're all ready to sign it, and then a week later they haven't signed it, and it's because they sent you an email which you never saw, and it was asking a question about your terms and conditions, and you didn't answer it, and so the whole thing's been pushed back by a month, and suddenly you're not going to hit this month's number. The closing agent it lives in the in the inbox, and basically it's set up to answer questions about that deal. So you can feed it knowledge sources. I fed it the website. You can give it handoff rules, messaging defaults, and you can decide whether to have it on or off. But it's on templates and quotes. So basically, if you're buying something and you've got a question, you can ask the agent anytime. So if you're sitting up at midnight not knowing whether to sign a quote because you're worried about the terms and conditions for the UK or the US, you can ask the closing agent. We're expecting this to make a real difference in terms of certainly bigger, more complex deals closing faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's really quite sophisticated because the closing agent will either give you a response with a source, or it will also ask follow-up questions to further clarify a request that's in there as well. And if it recognizes a need for a human, it'll reassign the conversation to the quote owner, or the assigned team, just whatever based your handoff rules are. So really interesting, I think, beta. So this is again a public beta, only available in English at the moment. You need a Commerce Hub seat to turn on the closing agent, and I think only super admins can create and activate the agents. And just another FYI, this at the moment is one of those agents that doesn't consume credits, but will do in the future. So if you want to get access to it and start playing around with it now, it's a good time because you won't be charged any credits. But yes, in the future you will. But yeah, I think this is a really interesting update and can be very impactful in terms of time saving because, yeah, as you were saying, Chris, often you get lots of people from different parts of the buying process, then starting to query stuff. So yeah, it's a good one.
We love that one. The next one we have.
I'm going to put in a couple of links into the chat as well.
Oh, brilliant.
That while you go on to the next one.
Just this is a very quick one. Autosave properties in the highlight card. I mean, actually, some of you might have seen there was a private beta which has just been removed, which allowed you to put whatever properties you wanted in the highlight card. I really love that. It will come back, but for the moment, we've just got autosave here. So if you update anything in here, even if you don't press save, it will save. So nice. Stops you having to re-enter data. Quick, simple, but all of these things make the portal better. The next thing we have is workflow action to register a contact to a marketing event. And I've kind of put together a basic workflow. We've never been able to do this before, but here what we're saying is it's a trigger of a form submission. And if we wanted to edit the criteria, we can change the form. So it could be the form to go to the big exciting event at the Excel. And then we can then add this action. So this is a workflow action, and we would add it. It's in marketing, and down here, register contact to a marketing event. You choose your contact, and you choose your event. And nice and simple, it registers that person to the event. So using events as part of a campaign, for example, then we're going to get better reporting. It's just a nice little stitching everything in HubSpot together a little bit better. Adding text overlays to videos, I'm not going to demo that, but if you're not using some of the HubSpot video functionality, I definitely encourage you. It's probably something we should have a deep dive into because it's improved astronomically over the last few years, even few months. We've got subtitles and all sorts of things like that, but we can now add text overlays. So I don't know what you're going to do with that, but it's just another little thing that makes things better. Would you add text overlays to your videos, Amy?
Yes, I would. I think I would. I think we were talking about this actually for ourselves with a client who we're dealing with who speaks very good English, but English is the second language. And I think just in terms of training videos and that kind of thing, having that just, yeah, obviously makes it more accessible.
Nice. Okay. User level ticket visibility in the customer portal. I don't have a customer portal set up, so I can't show you this one. But typically, we've not been able to restrict user permissions to the tickets that they can see in the customer portal. It's been the sort of manager level where they can see everything. This is like when we're setting up a contact visibility, where we can set it as team owned or all. So this is just adding that extra level of control over who can see tickets in the customer portal. Quote association and creation from the board view, and again, this is probably right up your street, Amy, because it's a nice little thing. If you look here, and again, this is part of the new look records. So we have our board view, we've got a Gantt view, all of these sorts of things, but we can actually create a quote. Comma sub required, I think, but I can create a quote directly from here. So I can just go straight from here. I choose my quote template, and I'm going straight into my quote.
Saves me at least 3 clicks.
There we go. The cat. I don't
And in
ask
French
about the
again.
cat. Très bon, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know why. I think there's something to do with our.
You can
might be-
easily change it
Yeah.
in the setting, but yeah.
And you can see here closing agent is off, but the key thing is that we can create a quote more easily, and this is actually the new CPQ. This is like your first look at the new CPQ. We're going to dangle this here and say sign up for the CPQ webinar. Hopefully we'll get Ethan, and that would be really good. But the fact that you've now got that extra, you can just go to your deal pipeline and create a quote directly from the pipeline. Just nice, simple, easy. Bish bash bosh. Sync Microsoft Teams meeting recordings and transcripts to HubSpot. This is a really big thing. Again, I'm not a Teams user and have password issues with Teams, but if you are, get your sales team they're going to have to do it on an individual basis. The Teams connection, the handshake, it's fairly quick, and it just means that suddenly all of those records are enriched. We've got sentiment, we can trigger workflows.
All the unstructured
keywords.
data, it's brilliant. Yeah, this is one we've I think flagged before when it was in public beta, and so it's now live. But yeah, definitely, it's a great one.
It's magical. I mean, it's whatever system.
It seems like it's one of those things you think, well, why haven't I done that already?
Why haven't they? Well, I think and no offense to Microsoft, anyone from Microsoft here, but I think Microsoft are just difficult to work with when it comes to their code base, so they usually last.
Yeah. Why we waited so long for a mediocre LinkedIn sales
navigator. Hublead is good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We don't rest.
Agent Studio, Agent Builder, that they tell us we've got full access to the Agent Builder in beta. We actually don't yet, but we can fire up our agents. And as Amy has said a couple of times, agents and assistants are in beta. They don't use credits. So it's a really good opportunity to explore the agents. And you can go into the marketplace. You can see what's trending. What are people doing? Deal loss agent, call recap agent. Go in, have a look, familiarize yourself, because there's untapped gold in these here hills. And my final one, suggested send times. So again, this is one of those updates where you just think that's not there already. But there used to be a tool called Seventh Sense. I think there still is. Seventh Sense probably does it really well. But if I'm preparing my email send and I click schedule for later, then it will say suggest the best time to send, and it's machine learning, so it will gradually work out over time the best time to send an email to any given contact. There we go. 1 minute over. All yours, Amy.
Cool. Right. Here we go. So the first one I was going to talk about is using custom drag and drop email templates in Remix. So to save time, I've got one of our remixes up here, and you can see when you click add and select email as a content type, you can now choose any of your any email template you've created using the drag and drop editor. Previously, only using custom email templates wasn't available. It was just the HubSpot's default template. So I think this is a really good one. I'm not going to generate an email now because it'll take a little bit of time, but I think that hopefully gives you a quick overview. This is something that's again, public beta. And another note when I was playing around with this is that only drag and drop emails are currently compatible. So if you've got a custom designed email or something like that, if you recreate them in the drag and drop, you'll then be able to use them here in the remix. Another nice one for the marketers is again a public beta. It's been able to clone landing pages with AI. So here I'm just in my landing pages list. I'm just going to click clone. And here I've got this option now to generate new content with AI. If I choose clone, this particular landing page is got downloadable content. So I then am going to quickly define the idea. So here we go.
You
True
watched Blue
Blue
Peter as a kid,
style,
didn't you?
yeah. I got a Blue Peter badge, Chris. I didn't just watch it. Anyway, I can then a story for another day. Select my ICP, etc. Potentially, if I've got documents, I can add them, and then I can generate my landing page. So again, another lovely update, really quick. I will leave it to generate its stuff, but you get the idea. The next one is around contact email logging. Now, currently, because again, this is a beta, the default email logging behavior only captures contacts emails that are replies to already logged emails. I hope that makes sense. So for example, at the moment, when a contact responds to an email sequence and their email isn't logged, that'd be one instance at the moment where that isn't captured. Or if you're sending emails from your mobile and you haven't used the BCC email address, again, that's not logged against the record. Or if you send an email in your email client and you forget to check the box, the log box, currently the only way you can do this is now retrospectively use the log email. But this new beta allows you to click log all emails, and those scenarios will now be logged in your portal. Where have I got to? I'm lost. Let me check back. So current
I really
AI
like that one.
referrals. This is a good one. So a new traffic source classification in web traffic analytics is AI referrals now. This is a beta. So currently AI referrals are grouped under other websites. So it's impossible to measure AI's impact on your lead generation. However, if you opt into this public beta, you will now have a AI referrals group within your analytics. So if you just go into I don't know, marketing analytics and web traffic source, run that default report. After you've switched the beta on, it'll start to gather that information. Now, again, it's not retrospective. So only once you switch it on, only new traffic going forward collated will be marked under this. And again, when I come to the end, I'll stick in a few links for you to read a bit more about it.
This is worth turning on because
Definitely.
I've looked at this in a bunch of portals, and typically the session to contact rate is unbelievably high. It's usually in the top
Conversion
2.
rate, yeah,
Yeah.
because people are so much further down the funnel loop.
Yeah.
Um,
Loop.
when they're making those type of searches in the LLM. So yeah, definitely worth doing. And this is a really nice one as well. So yeah, I've got a couple of these links I'll stick in a sec. But yeah, this next one. So you can now use organic social interactions as part of your lead scoring. So again, to quickly save time, I've got up a lead scoring that we've set up previously. This is live. It's not a beta, and you can use specific social accounts. So whether that might be, I don't know, Facebook as compared to LinkedIn, or you can use interaction type, which is the one I've used here. And I think this is really valuable for your lead scoring, because it certainly just this information hasn't been able to be pulled into that lead score previously. Other things just to note, you can add a frequency. So here, I've got multiple criteria, so I can't add it on this one. But if you just had a single one, you could add a frequency. So for example, you could only score after the action has been completed twice or something like that. And you can also, as you can see here, I've added a time frame. So again, this one has got, if anybody has done a mention or a comment in the last 2 weeks, they're scored as well. So again, subscription levels, professional and enterprise. This is now live for. I will pop a link again in the comments at the end for that one. So this is just a quick one. So if you're a Gmail user, this is in beta right now, and essentially just the updated contact sidebar for the Chrome extension. It now opens like a Chrome side panel instead of within the Gmail interface. So again, just a nice update. Next one, association actions now support the lead objects. So I have in a workflow, I've created 2 workflows just to show this quickly. But essentially, the first thing you can do is now use association actions in lead-based workflows. So this workflow, I've enrolled leads, and you can see just on the right here, I can now use the search, and you can see all the association actions I can use now. This was available on other properties, but not on lead properties previously. So it's just been expanded. And the second thing that this affects is that if you, for example, create a workflow on a different object, here I've just created one based on a contact-based object. The lead object is now available as an associated object. So this currently wasn't available previously. So again, really useful if you're wanting to do some more advanced things with association as well. How are we doing for time? 5 minutes left. We're doing
I'll start doing this if we're getting close.
Yeah. So improved organization. Let's just quickly go to screenshot and search for data variables and workflows. I mean, what does that even mean? It means basically in your workflow, you've got this really much nicer, decluttered, one unified search when you're looking for variables. So I particularly like the recommended things here, but it just means you're not trying to go into different groups and if you're like me, I found all the updates to the workflow quite different from what it used to be in the whole thing. So
Frustrating,
I'm
agonizing,
constantly searching
irritating.
for where these things are. And this, I think, in response to other people like me, is just a nice update. So yeah, a good one in my book. Going quickly to another tab. So we have now got blog AI suggestions. So if you go to content and your list of blogs, you've opted into this beta, which is public beta, you now got the suggestions tab. And if you've configured your agent, it will suggest content and blog content for you based on the agent. Now, in this one, there's something funky going on because our images aren't generating, but you can just go to your agent to configure it. This is the blog research agent, and we can configure it here, and then you can make your changes here. Again, this has got the hallmarks of Chris all over it, as you can see. I think maybe the agent doesn't like bears and cheese. What can I say?
It did some deep research on how to protect your picnic baskets from bears.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a nice one. So again, just a word of warning on that one. This agent doesn't yet consume credits, but will do in the future. So again, another one to play around with now. I think if you're a marketer, you appreciate any kind of help in terms of this suggested content as well. Cool. I think we might finish up on the this one, last one. Nice, easy, quick one. And then I'll go and ping the links I said I would in the chat. But now there is live title suggestions for videos for anyone with Content Pro and Enterprise. Essentially, after uploading a video, if you select the little breeze icon, HubSpot will automatically generate title suggestions based on the video's transcript. And also, as part of that, will provide the monthly search volume as well, and difficulty to rank with each suggested title. You can then select the title from or the best title you think based on the suggestions which fits your video. So nice a little update there. Again, one we've mentioned previously when it was beta, but now live. So
All these
little
helpful things. I love the really little helpful ones. I think sometimes people go,
yeah,
oh, hundreds of updates, but actually half of them are teeny tiny things that just make life 30 seconds easier. And 30 seconds a day across the year is actually a reasonable amount of time. So yeah, really good.
Right. So in the chat, we've got the email logging rules one, the AI referrals one, which I think is a good article as well. The CRM associations. And then
the AI referrals is live in all portals, so everybody's got it. Sometimes you have to just extend the period to see some, but you'll all have access to that report.
Yeah, that's the one I think I would choose to turn on now of all of the betas that we've gone through today if I was forced to choose one, I think, Chris.
Yeah, and starting to think about AEO, or the sort of agent engine whatever optimization, really big thing, because it's coming and they convert at a much higher rate and they buy at a much higher rate. So think about those people.
And if you ever want advice, get in touch. We'd be happy to help.
We're here.
All right. See you in a couple of weeks' time, everyone.
Thank you, folks.